Hello, art students. Today we're going to be talking about radial balance. Radial balance is where there's equal parts all coming out of the center, kind of like slices of pie. So you're going to be doing something like this, only you'll be creating with paper. These styles and flower-like designs are mandalas. To make one of these, you are going to need one piece of paper, a pencil, something black to outline with, coloring tools, and something round to trace. I'm using 3 round objects. If you don't have any round objects, don't worry, you can free draw that circle. So we want our center of the mandala to be in the center of our paper. So let's go ahead and fold our paper in half, lining up the edges, then creasing. And we're going to open it up and fold it in half the other direction. This way we can find the center of our paper. Once we do this, we're going to open it up again. If we found round objects to trace, we're going to use the biggest to smallest, lining up the top and the bottom, seeing if there's a larger space or a smaller space, whether or not we need to move it up or down, or left or right. If you are free drawing this, I want you to measure a length from the top and bottom, put 2 little tally marks, and try and free draw those circles. So there would be a tally mark at the bottom, and the same distance the tally mark would be at the top, and then you can free draw your circle. So here's my largest circle. I'm going to go ahead and move to a medium-sized circle. Once I place my cup down, I check all sides to see if it's even in the center. Then I go ahead and trace. You're free drawing this. Do your best to make it in the center. And last but not least, I'm taking that tiny little circle. It's just a cap to my apple juice. Tracing around it, and I have my small circle. Now that I have my bullseye, whether I did it freehand or I traced objects, I am ready to start my mandala. I'm going to start with a little circle in the center. This is just teeny tiny, so it's easy to do with a free hand. And I'm going to add leaves. With mandalas, we're just going to add many different patterns and flower-like designs around it. Again, we are making radial balance, so we're going to have equal or same sides radiating out of the center, kind of like a pie slice. So that's what you will see me doing throughout this video. I'm going to speed up the video. You can watch the designs that I put in here. I would like you to try and make your own designs. So if you do get stumped, you can take a look at mine. If not, go ahead and make your own designs. You can see a lot of the times I use the folds of my paper as a guideline to make sure my shapes stay even. I highly recommend using the folds of your paper to make sure your almost like your pie slices stay even compared to each other. So I'm going to speed up the video even more. If you feel you want to take a design from mine, go ahead and pause it and add it to yours. But pay attention on how I use those folds in my paper to keep everything even. That's very, very important. It makes everything a lot easier on yourself. Okay, so here I am finishing up the drawing. Now I'm going to take my black marker and start outlining all of my designs. Of course, when you finish up, do not forget to add your name and the date somewhere on your page. Now that my mandala is completely traced with my black marker, I'll be going in with my eraser and cleaning up those pencil lines that might be left behind. When it comes to coloring in your mandala, you need to make sure you pick a color scheme. I'm going to use complementary colors, red and green, those colors across from each other on the color wheel. But because two colors won't work, I'm going to add some pinks and some lighter and darker greens just to add some more colors. These are still complementary colors. I just added a few more shades and tints in there. So it is very important that you pick a color scheme to make it look nice and clean and organized, like you put some thought into your mandala. So I'm going to continue coloring in my mandala off camera, and I will be back with the finished result. So here is my finished mandala. I also want to point out how big I made it. It's very close to the top and bottom of my edges. Of course, the sides are a little bit wider. So I hope you enjoyed this art project and found it as relaxing as I did. I will see you next week.